Hey, Murray, you want to hear a joke?
Sure.
It's always sunny in Hollywood. I can't
See,
do the
that's not
fucking laugh.
funny.
I'm waiting for the punch. What's the punchline?
There is no punchline.
Anyway, welcome to It's Always Joking in Hollywood.
Where we make
I'm
fun of
the
ourselves.
yes. Now,
We were
I'm
the
your
clowns
host.
all along.
I'm the Joker,
Oh,
baby.
then
Yeah. Okay.
them the
Anyway,
clowns.
my name is Red Drum Arts. Yeah.
and
Why don't
I'm
you
Pa-
guys introduce yourself?
and I am Patrick.
I am Lugia. We are all a part of a society.
Yeah. In the comics, there's like a storyline where there's like three Jokers. So that's us. We're the three Jokers. Hell yeah.
The Three Stooges,
Um,
but they're clowns.
it's
Wait, they
not
weren't
that. It's
already.
more of
They
like
weren't already clowns. Let's be real.
no, but the three Jokers storyline, the whole deal there was like, so you know how different portrayals of the Joker, like some is like the funny one that we all know, some's this anarchist, and some's like
Jack Nicholson, the
this other
Mafia
one.
Man.
All the three different common interpretations of the Joker. That storyline was suggesting that they're literally three different Jokers
Mm-hmm.
with their own little deal, and that's why like some is like a complete goofball, some is a complete psychopath, and the other
Now,
is
who would we be? One person would be Mark Hamill, one person would be Heath Ledger, and one of us would be Joaquin Phoenix.
So who's who?
I guess I'm Hamill. I don't know. I call Hamill. That's my call.
I call.
Who gives a shit?
I don't know. Does it matter?
Whatever.
Does it matter really?
I don't know. While we're on animation, Arthur. After 25 years, the Arthur finale finally aired. We got to see everyone all grown up and stuff. Let's
Dude,
see.
I can't remember the last time I watched Arthur.
I remember it was
I was in the single digits.
2004.
I don't know. I remember occasionally.
September 14th, 2004. It was
I
a
remember
dark
it-
time. No, I'm
I
kidding.
remember occasionally watching it, but it wasn't like a show I watched religiously.
Yeah, I
Uh,
remember reading the books
Yeah,
more, honestly.
I remember the books more than I do the TV show.
Yeah, I remember I had this one computer game, and it was pretty fun. Like it was a point and click adventure computer game for Arthur as a kid. But
Wait,
one of the levels was like was like kind of scary for like 4-year-old me.
I also had an Arthur computer game. It was like a mini game compilation, but like the whole objective was you're trying to make a treehouse.
Huh?
I don't know. I
That's
never
way
finished
different
it.
than the one I had.
I don't know.
I'm not
I
familiar
never.
with the Arthur games.
I don't know. I remember it was part of like a collection of like Jumpstart preschool games. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Yeah. Okay, so the Arthur finale happened. So DW became a cop because of course she did, and Arthur became an artist, became a graphic novelist. And I just want to say I've noticed that almost any time there's a cartoon where the character grows up or something, we see like a time skip to when they're older. They almost always are pursuing the arts. I think that's interesting. I think it's just the writers sort of writing themselves into the main character, but like. I know it's like it happened with Arthur. It happened with Rugrats. It happened with even a regular show. Mordecai became an artist. I'm like, just an interesting pattern I'm noticing.
Hmm.
But yeah, DW and Arthur. All the other characters grew up, did stuff. I think Brain became like a teacher, or was that Buster who became the teacher? I don't remember. Whatever. Who cares?
I don't know. I got nothing.
Yeah. They're
Everyone
making a
says
Kraven the
Arthur
Hunter
looks like
movie.
Peanut Butter Gamer, and
Yeah,
he is also
that's
known for Arthur content.
Yeah, that's the
Yes.
most. That's the most I know about the finale. That Arthur grew up into Peanut Butter Gamer.
Yeah. Anyway, Nina Simone turned 89, so that's happy birthday, Nina. She's
She turned 89 today.
no, not today. Like in the last week.
It's
she turned
February
89.
28th for reference.
Yes, today is the last day of February. I wrote down that bit of news whatever day Nina Simone turned 89. All right, cut me some slack. Yeah, but great singer, great influential. I think it was the 21st was her birthday, so exactly a week from now, actually. So sorry I was late. I forgot to mention it last week.
That's fine.
The lead singer of the rock band Queens of the Stone Age unfortunately passed away. I was a big fan of their work, so it Rest in peace. You made good music. Fairly Odd Parents is getting a sequel series, which is in a similar vein to the live-action movies. Drake Bell is not reprising his role due to currently being incarcerated. But yeah,
I imagine also because he's too old for it.
I mean no, because Timmy is a grown-ass. Timmy is an adult in this
I don't
sequel
know.
series.
I didn't bother watching the trailer because I'll be honest, I
I've
don't
only
care.
seen this infamous screenshot. Just why?
I mean,
Cosmo and Wanda are still going to be animated in 2D, which is interesting. Although it looks like it's going to be done in the later series of Flash style and not the classic hand drawn of the early seasons. Oh yeah, for those that don't know, the Fairly Odd Parents switched to Flash during its like last season or something.
why are they doing the live action mixing again? They did it before. People hated it then. Why are they trying it again?
Because
They didn't hate it
apparently
then.
doing
They were
bad shit is
successful.
good.
Those live action movies are successful. They made like
But
3 of them.
people liked them.
I don't know if they. I mean, kids probably like enjoyed them fine enough, but yeah, they must have gotten good ratings because they made 3 of them.
I don't know. Much like Arthur, it's been years since I've seen the Fairly Odd Parents.
Are any of you guys Harry Potter fans?
No,
I
I've
read-
only
I
seen the
read-
first 2 movies.
I read the first book and I've seen the first movie. That's it.
Well, all right. The trailer for the 3rd prequel came out. I would definitely recommend Luga. You check out Harry Potter 3 because it's by far my first one. In fact, favorite one.
A lot
In
of people
fact,
say that's their favorite one.
I'm gonna say it's like the only one I would actually consider like a great movie. It's directed by Alfonso Cuarón, who did Gravity and Roma and Children of Men. All those critically acclaimed darlings and all that shit. So yeah. Batman comes out this Friday. Reviews are coming out. People are saying it's like a big epic detective movie with like horror elements. It's very unique, apparently, and in between of Burton and Christopher Nolan. So looking forward to that. I am probably gonna see it this Sunday. Anyway, can we talk about the movie now?
All right. So we're talking about Joker, kind of related to the Batman universe, but this movie in particular isn't really associated with tying it to Bruce Wayne's origin. It's more or less focused on the Joker himself.
Yeah.
So
If you've
no, you go.
for Batman comic fans, if you've read the storyline, The Killing Joke, it's got some very, very loose similarities to that. And by loose, I mean like I think like they maybe like skimmed over the general premises, like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like it's a Joker origin story in a similar way, executed completely different. Figure it's worth mentioning though, since if someone's ought to mention it, I don't know. Go on.
All right. So this movie was both directed and written by Todd Phillips, who you may know for the Hangover series. I haven't seen those movies personally, but I think Patrick, you said you saw the first one?
I saw the first one and I thought it was hilarious.
Yes, I am familiar with Todd Phillips' work. I'm going to say he is a man that very, very he clearly used to love comedy early on in his career, but ever since The Hangover, he's wanted to be more and more serious as each Hangover movie got more serious, and then he made the straight up comedy drama Watch Dogs, or not Watch Dogs,
Yeah, like
War
if
Dogs.
I didn't know that this was from the same director as The Hangover, I never would have put that together.
Yeah, but I honestly think it actually makes sense because if you look at all of his movies, like since The Hangover, like if you look at his career, like they started off goofy with Road Trip and Starsky and Hutch, but then they slowly got more and more like dark and grounded. Like The Hangover Part 3 is straight up like that is not a funny movie. That's just fucked up, honestly. Hangover Part 3 has I know it's crazy to say that the third Hangover movie has a lot of parallels to this, but it does. Bizarre Man, he very clearly did not want to do comedies anymore, and he was just kind of forced into it. And well, I hope he's happy now because Joker was a big success and looks like he's going to be directing dramas from now on.
But how successful? Well, it had a budget of roughly 55 to 70 million dollars and it grossed over 1 billion. So
Yes,
this was pretty huge.
The first R-rated movie to pass the $1 billion landmark, and only R-rated movie to do so as of now.
Really?
Yes, and
Yeah.
what's impressive is that it made most of its money domestically. It did not release in China,
It didn't?
which it did not release in China, no.
Huh.
And lots of people found that impressive because usually the reason a lot of these movies make so much is because like of the Chinese market. Like Pirates of the Caribbean 4, it's the highest grossing Pirates of the Caribbean movie because of China. At that time, it was the lowest domestically, but yeah. I don't know why that was the example that popped in my head, but like, yeah, it made over $1 billion because of China. So this one didn't. So that's impressive. It's a pastiche off of Scorsese movies.
Yes, he
Now,
wanted this to be kind of like a Scorsese movie. He used Taxi Driver and King of Comedy as references, but he was
yes,
generally leaning towards Scorsese's style.
yeah, Scorsese was even attached as a producer at one point. I don't know if he ended up being a producer in the he is not a producer on the movie, but he was early on. He was attached on the picture. I guess he changed his mind or
Yeah,
things fell through.
Scorsese did not produce, but Bradley Cooper did, which
Yeah, which
I
is
was not expecting.
Bradley
I saw
Cooper's.
his name at the end credits. I'm like, oh, that Bradley Cooper? Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
Bradley Cooper.
yeah. Bradley Cooper's produced a couple movies now. Mostly movies that star him. So this is actually kind of a surprise since he's not in this movie. Yeah, he did produce Phillips's previous movie, War Dogs, though, so that's likely explains why he produced this one. Likely a favor. But yeah,
Was he in War Dogs?
I have no idea. So we did mention that the writer was Todd Phillips, but he actually had a co-writer, Scott Silver, who is his writing credits are a bit more extensive, as he also wrote the critically acclaimed films 8 Mile and The Fighter. 8 Mile, the Eminem movie, and The Fighter, the Oscar-winning David O. Russell movie. So yeah, some interesting production team, I guess. Just a bunch of random names you never expect. But specifically, this movie draws a lot from Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. Those are the two specific Scorsese movies he drew inspiration from. I would argue he also drew inspiration from movies like Drive and like Falling Down and even Fight Club. But it's basically I'm gonna start diving into the plot now, just because I figured that'd be an easy way to mention the parallels. But it's got like the similar idea of like sort of a disillusioned, troubled white man that kind of lashes out against society that he feels has failed him. It's sort of the running theme across all these movies, and what's I guess makes Joker stand apart is most of those movies. A lot of those themes are more so secondary, while they had other themes. When in Joker, seems to be the prime point of the film. And yeah, this movie is while it was very controversial because people assumed it was inspired like violence and right wing uprisings and whatnot. The movie is actually incredibly left wing. Um, Funny enough, talking about like mental health awareness and class consciousness and stuff. Still ain't like perfect, obviously. People do idolize the Joker, but it's not like I don't know. That's of course that was gonna happen. You guys want to give a more detailed plot summary?
Wow. Thank you for all of that background information, Lugia.
uh,
You just hijacked it, Red. You just hijacked Lugia's train of thought.
all right. So what am I doing? A plot synopsis.
Plot synopsis.
Yeah.
All right. So in Gotham City, there lives a man named Arthur Fleck who works as a clown, and he gets the shit beat out of him by some kids. Apparently, this happens more than once. He's a very mentally ill man who has to go to therapy like once every week, and that doesn't really help him. So eventually, he reaches his breaking point when he's given a gun by his superior. He uses it against a couple of rich boys on a subway, and that sparks a conflict with a lot of other lower class citizens in Gotham. So he kind of has a following. What?
Yeah, he also has a girlfriend. At least we think at first he has a girlfriend, but it's later revealed he just imagined that. And there's a subplot with his like mom, where his mom keeps saying that Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's father, is Arthur's dad.
That just
Oh, and
turns out not to be true. And he later
yeah,
discovers the truth about his mother being abusive and a drug addict, and he kills
Yep.
her too.
Yeah. Arthur also looks up to a talk show host, a comedian, and he wants to be a comedian, although he just doesn't understand how jokes work. That part was straight up just lifted from King of Comedy, basically. Although it plays out a bit differently, but I'd say that element was the big King of Comedy influence, and the big Taxi Driver influence was the isolation part of it. The fact that this dude's kind of lonely, and yeah. At one point, he gets into a freezer, and then what happens in the last act?
So the climax of the film happens when Joker is invited onto the Murray Franklin show, who is played by Robert De Niro. It's nice to see him again.
Yes, another Scorsese reference. Just existence to Robert De Niro is a Scorsese reference.
So he's invited onto the show, and he starts to tell the truth to everybody that he was the one who killed those boys on the subway. And then he kills Murray Franklin right then and there, and that sparks the giant clown community, if I could put it one way.
Clown uprising. Everyone begins to live into the society.
No, they become the society.
I think during the riots, Bruce Wayne's parents get shot,
Yep.
and the movie ends with him in the hospital, and then he like escapes the hospital. So that's cool.
All right, there you go. That's the movie.
Yep, that's the movie. That's pretty simple, straightforward character study. You know, just mostly following Joker.
It's
Well,
more
Arthur
about the
Fleck.
themes, I think, about mental health, how society treats mental health. This is not a movie where the mentally ill gets better. It's a movie where they get worse, and that reaches its apex in the climax.
Yeah, it's a bit clunky with how it handles the themes, but you know, it's a valiant effort. What did you think, Patrick?
Okay, this was my first time seeing this movie. I did not see it when it first came out because I was busy with other things. But even though I didn't see it, it was freaking everywhere. Like, I heard people at school talking about it and stuff like that. But like a really distinct memory for me was I remember some of my friends actually learned the dance, the bathroom dance.
Oh, the bathroom dance. Interesting.
Yes, the bath. He's some of my friends like because they were bored, like they would do that before like theater rehearsal, and even like in the dressing room,
Yeah, I
like they would just
expected.
do it.
Yeah, that's surprising because like the staircase dance is the more famous one.
We didn't really have any stairs to
Yeah, fair
practice
enough. Fair enough.
No, that's
Um,
just like a big thing that I remember when Joker came out. Like my friends learned the dance.
um,
But in terms of what I thought for a first experience, I thought this was really good.
yeah, I thought it was solid. Want to go into specifics?
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Okay. What'd you think of the acting?
I think Joaquin Phoenix was a good casting choice. He's not as iconic as, say, like Heath Ledger or Mark Hamill, but for what this type of Joker is trying to do, I think he did it well. He's not a crime lord, always fucking around with Batman. He is a mentally unstable man trying to fit in this world that does not accept him. And I think his performance is just really good for that.
Yeah, I think he
I
does
can describe
pretty
his
good.
performance in one word: mesmerizing.
Um,
He is in this like 110%.
yeah, I really like how his laugh almost sounds like it's hurting him. Oh shit, that's something we forgot to mention. His laugh.
His
So
condition.
well, here's the thing. Throughout the movie, he has this condition, you know, air quotes, where he laughs uncontrollably. But like later in the movie, it's more so suggested that these are sincere laughs. Is just nobody really understands what he finds funny, so he just tells people that it's a condition. But like, at least that's like how I sort of interpret it as, because like,
Yeah, like
um,
he carries around business cards and he gives it to people when they look at him funny. Like he gave it to
yeah,
that one lady on the bus. She never gave it back though, even though at the bottom of the card it clearly says please give back.
yeah.
And I
What I
don't think
find
we see that
interesting,
card ever again.
No, we
yeah,
don't. She
yeah.
just kept it for herself.
What I find interesting is so Joaquin Phoenix completely steals the show. He does great.
Hmm.
I don't think any of the other actors are particularly good though.
Really?
I
And
think
like,
Robert De Niro did a good job.
Yeah.
De Niro did fine, but he was kind of doing like an over the top thing anyway. So it's not like, you know. it didn't demand much. But like a lot of the other characters, I felt like they just weren't that great, which is fine for the most part because the movie is like very centered on Joaquin Phoenix, so the other characters aren't in it much. But
I mean,
like Thomas Wayne, the therapist, I felt like those could have been like a bit better. I wasn't a fan of them.
I mean, you do go into a Joker movie expecting to see the Joker, and if the Joker is great, then I think that's what's important.
I mean, fair, but like I don't know, a lot of Batman movies. Batman isn't particularly great, but the movies are still good. Like,
I don't know. I haven't seen many of the Batman movies, so I can't judge.
Well, no, I think this is a movie about his psychological conscience, so it wouldn't make sense if Joker was acting a lot, well, better
no,
in
I'm saying
quotation marks than everyone
that's
else.
good. No, that's not what I mean. I mean like just literally like the performances. I thought they were kind of flat, hokey, and unbelievable, except for Joaquin Phoenix, who's fantastic.
I want to say
Just-
that's intentional.
I don't think it was because
And if that's the case, then
some
this movie's
characters
trying to make you
do
feel
act fine.
sympathetic for Joker.
I don't think so though, because like some characters do act fine. Like if every character except Joker was like hokey, then I'd be like, okay, then I think it's intentional. But like, no, it's more of like just some actors are just bad and some aren't. I don't know. It's weird.
Was there any that particularly stood out to you as being not great?
Thomas Wayne and the therapist. Oh shit.
What?
I just realized. Fun fact: this movie was shot in Jersey City, New York City, and Newark. So that's cool. I'm gonna try seeing locations.
Actually, fun fact, the staircase scene that you tend to see the Joker dance on a lot, that was in the Bronx, and that is now a tourist attraction.
Yes,
Mhm.
this movie has made that part that location very popular.
So you can
Speaking
do
of,
your Joker dances and Bully Maguire dances all you want.
Speaking of Joker dancing and all that stuff, can we talk about the music for a second?
Yeah.
Yes.
The score in this movie is fantastic.
Yes. Are you people familiar with the YouTube channel Sideways?
I don't believe so,
Sounds
no.
very familiar. Sounds very familiar.
Okay, well he did a video explaining something very interesting the Joker soundtrack does, where it mixes a diegetic and non-diegetic stuff.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, where like we hear like a good example would be the ending scene where we hear the song and we think, oh, that's just the movie soundtrack, but then Joker starts to sing along to it. It's like, oh, that's interesting. It's not like so they
Yeah,
kind
and
of shifted like from diegetic to non-diegetic or
Yeah.
whichever one's which I kind of forgot. But yeah,
Yeah, similar to actually, there's also the scene where he's putting the face makeup on, and That's Life is playing, and then there's a knock at the door, and the song switches to a record player.
yeah.
That just stood out to me. I'm like, I really like that. It's like it's like he's in his own world with the music, but then there's a knock at the door, and then it's back to down there.
Yeah. I want to really shout out the writing, not the writing, the acting and the directing here. Todd Phillips really did a good job directing here. I think he deserves some credit. Some very interesting shots, some good thematic things with the camera. An obvious thing would be when Joker's at his low point, he's rising up the stairs, but when he finally snaps and lets go, and he's enjoying his life, he's going down the stairs, symbolically. You understand the visual
Yeah.
themes there.
Yeah.
I found it funny because looking at just the actual script and dialogue on its own, it's not that particularly great. It's just like Joaquin sells it so well and the direction does it so well that like it works, even though like the actual writing isn't like super amazing or anything.
Well, to go back to another Joaquin Phoenix film, that's kind of how I felt about Signs, because Signs had like a pretty generic concept, but I think the acting really sold it.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's debatable, but
Well, we really liked Signs, but Signs is a movie about an alien invasion. That's it. It's a like pretty weak concept, but I think in execution it worked really well.
I think the attempts at dark comedy in this movie were some of the best parts.
Oh yeah, when he forgot to clock out. No,
Yeah.
punch out. When he forgot to punch out.
Yeah, when he kills those people and then like his dwarf friend Yeah, he murders like people in front of him, and then he just like kisses his dwarf friend on the forehead. It was like, all right, you can go now.
He was
Like
the only
that
one
was
who
like
was ever nice to him.
it was like so fucked up, but it was kind of hilarious at the same time. When he's like practicing how he's gonna do his on-air suicide, that's kind of like bleak hilarious. I kind of wish this movie was like more funny. I know Todd Phillips doesn't want to do comedy anymore, but like I feel like he kind of should have leaned into the comedy thing just like a little bit more. Um, to bring up King of Comedy again, that movie's actually really funny, King of Comedy. And I felt like this, it's like plot wise, it's more similar to King of Comedy, but like tonal wise, it's more similar to Taxi Driver.
Well, speaking of
Yeah, go on.
speaking of the violence and the him being on the Murray show, even though I hadn't seen this movie, that was the one scene I was aware of when he's
I
doing
had
the
a
interview.
feeling that was the one you knew of.
Yes, that's because I saw the video where it's Disney characters doing it.
Goofy's
There's
the
Disney voice acting.
Joker.
Yes, and Pooh is the host.
You get what you fucking deserve.
Yeah, that was the one scene I know. But here's the thing:
yeah.
even though I knew exactly where that scene was heading, and I knew that he was going to shoot Murray, that whole scene I was incredibly tense.
Yeah, no, it's very good. How many like on-screen Jokers have you seen before this? Like, have you seen The Dark Knight or Tim Burton's Batman
I've
or
seen
the
the
animated
Dark Knight,
series?
but I've seen the Dark Knight, but a very long time ago.
All right. One thing I found interesting compared, like, with this Joker compared to all the others is that this Joker, there's nothing special about him. Like, he's very much a loser. He's not a particularly like interesting fella. Like, it's very like demystifying when like all
He's
the
just
other
a guy
Jokers.
He's just a guy trying to pursue a career in comedy, and the
Yeah,
world
when
shits on him for
like
it.
all the other Jokers have like this like mystique to them. There's a grand element to him, and this one's very like, oh, he's like
He's just like me.
no, well, geez, all right, real talk. If you related this movie, if at the end of the movie you did not think that Joker was like the bad guy,
I say that in the sense where
I don't know.
he tries his best in a world that doesn't want him.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of people said that they related to Joker in that sense. Not the part where he's, a fucking protest symbol, but
Yeah,
just him being a regular guy trying to do his best in this society.
You gotta specify.
Yeah.
You gotta specify.
Yeah. The violent stuff. Like I always feel like with movies like other movies similar to Joker, like Fight Club and like Falling Down or like The Matrix and stuff, a lot of people they kind of like relate to the wanting to like lash out violently at society. And I'm like, chill, my man.
This may sound weird, but I think of this movie as like Scream for this generation in terms of controversy.
Yes.
Because when Scream came out, there was a whole bunch of controversy about it inspiring.
Yeah, there were literal killings
Yeah.
with people in Scream masks after that movie came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think this movie kind of succeeded with it trying to be like Taxi Driver. Here's the thing. Taxi Driver did inspire a shooting.
Oh?
You don't know this? Taxi Driver inspired a shooting.
I might know it.
Explain. Taxi Driver inspired the assassination of Ronald Reagan, the guy that tried to kill Reagan.
Oh yes! Oh god!
Really?
Well, the attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Attempted.
Yeah, some dude saw Taxi Driver.
Right, and he became obsessed with like the lead actress,
Jodie Foster. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never knew
I
this.
I do know that.
Kind of like Travis did in the movie too, and yeah, he tried to kill Ronald Reagan.
Reagan broke the curse of Tippecanoe.
What's that?
You don't know the curse of Tippecanoe?
No.
The curse of Tippecanoe is this urban legend that every president elected in a year ending in 0 will die in office. If you think about it, Lincoln, JFK, Reagan was elected in 88, and the attempted assassination was in 81, but he survived. You can look it up. It's interesting. What were we talking about again? Right, violence.
The
violence
baby.
in Joker. The violence in Joker. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I know. Before this movie came out, didn't they like get like national? Like they doubled down on national security.
Something like that.
Nothing happened.
Wasn't there something related to the incel community?
People just saw like the "we live in a society" memes and thought that like they were unironic, but they weren't unironic. They were jokes. Like no one took that shit seriously. But yeah, some people thought that like because of I don't know, like the Dark Knight Rises. You remember that shooting?
Yeah, I do
People
know this.
thought
I do
people
know this
thought that
movie.
like there might be a shooting similar to that, but I'm like, I don't know. It was just completely overblown just because people saw uh all the Joker memes and they took it way too seriously, but like nothing
I
happened.
I
I
do
do
know this
remember there
movie.
was a violent incident that happened in theaters around the time Joker was in theaters. But it was at a screening of Frozen 2.
What?
It wasn't even Joker. Just like some like parents got into a fight at like a Frozen 2 theater, and people were like making jokes that
Oh,
Frozen 2 inspired more violence than Joker.
I do know that Joker wasn't screened at the theater where that Dark Knight Rises shooting took place,
Yeah.
out of respect.
I don't understand what the Joker connection to the Dark Knight Rises shooting was though, because
It was a man who the man claimed he was the Joker.
he didn't though. That was just a rumor that spread online, but like he
It was a
never
rumor?
did. Yeah, no,
Oh,
he never did that. People thought that because he dyed his hair, like he was trying to be like the Joker, but he dyed his hair like orange, and he did that like after the fact. Like he did
I
that
don't
while
know.
he was in prison,
I don't know.
and
The one thing I do know is that he's in jail for life.
yeah, and the Dark Knight Rises like had nothing to do with Joker. Like I don't Joker had absolutely nothing to do with that incident, but people just kind of were grasping at straws. But yeah.
Mm.
Let's see. So we talked about the music, we talked about the cinematography, we talked about the acting, we talked about the writing. Let's see, anything else?
I guess a fun fact I can just spew out. So you
Hmm?
may notice how Arthur Fleck is fucking skinny in this movie. That's
Yeah.
because Joaquin Phoenix had to lose about 52 pounds just to match that.
Dang.
Oh, this movie was nominated for 11 Oscars, and it won two. One for Best Acting and Best Original Score. Which, yeah, those are the two best parts of the
Yeah.
movie: the acting and the
Yeah.
score. So fair enough.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Like I wouldn't say like it deserved the other awards, but those two, I'm like, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't know if I'd
Um,
call this movie best picture worthy, but
yeah, no.
No,
Here's the thing.
no.
This movie is very watchable. It did not blow my mind in any way. I'm sure if this was like one of the first of these types of movies you've seen, it would probably like be very mind blowing to you. But I've seen like a lot of these, and it's
No,
nowhere
it's
near like
very
the
on the
best.
nose with its themes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've not seen many movies like this. And while I did really enjoy it, I wouldn't say it blew me away either.
It's definitely
I've
not for
seen.
everybody.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It made $1 billion, so maybe it is for everyone. But I don't know. Maybe the other ones are a bit like too artistic, so it's a little bit less accessible. Maybe not. I mean, Taxi Driver is a pretty popular movie. Drive's a pretty popular movie, but Fight Club is a pretty popular movie. So I don't know. Maybe people just like these types of movies. I like these types of movies. Granted, for like different reasons than some other people, but like yeah. So people kept we did bring up Taxi Driver and King of Comedy a lot, but I want to say this movie reminded me a lot of the 2011 movie Drive, a lot more than those two, just because of tonally and direction wise. I think he took some inspiration from Drive. Also, Drive has a very similar cult following to Joker, and has very similar memes to Joker, where like people think the Drive guy is a Sigma male, Chad, this silent, stoic, awkward type that like honestly, it's very similar, just like the culture around Drive and Joker, and also just the movies in general. So that's my recommendation. If you like Joker, check out Drive and the Scorsese movies we mentioned before. And maybe Fight Club, because Fight Club, I kind of wish this movie was more like Fight Club, because Fight Club was like a dark comedy, and this was, you know, great when it was funny, but like it wasn't funny for most of it.
For me,
Uh,
other than Scream, the other movie that came to my mind was actually Nobody.
that's fair, yeah, actually.
Two reasons. One, the subway scene is very much like the bus scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And two, also Nobody has a lot of diegetic music in it, much like
Yes.
what Joker does, and that was one of the things I really liked about Nobody,
Yeah.
how diegetic it was. What about you, Lugia? Any movies spring to mind?
Not really. Although I do
Okay.
think Nobody was a very interesting comparison. I didn't think of that.
No, I feel
Okay.
like it was kind of shot similar to Nobody too. So yeah, that's fair.
That'd be an interesting comparison. Nobody versus Joker.
Yes.
Bob Odenkirk
Okay.
versus Joaquin Phoenix. Who will win?
Yes.
Actually, I'd pay
So
money to see that fight.
yes, and but yeah, I would recommend this movie to anyone who wants to dip their toe into psychological dramas. It's a very good beginner psychological drama. I would also recommend it to people that love clowns and hate Jimmy Fallon. Um,
Oh yeah, on a side note, I think
if you
that this
hate
movie
Jimmy Fallon, you hate Jay Leno, you hate Robert De Niro, you're gonna love the ending.
on a side note, I think that this movie and it have officially killed the clown industry.
Yes. So
That's
anyway,
it. That's all I wanted to say.
not only do I agree with everything Joker says, but I fully endorse all of his actions. This movie gets the "It's Always Sunny in Hollywood" full endorsement. You
That's
hear
a
that,
thing?
U.S. government? Nah, I'm kidding. This is a
Be a
joke.
clown, do crime.
All right.
Remember,
When did we ever have our own seal of approval?
yes. You know what? This Joker gets the "It's Always Sunny in Hollywood" award of "This is my Black Panther." Um, this is
Okay.
this is a movie for gamers. Even though there's no gaming in it, it's a movie for gamers.
It's about oppression. It makes sense.
Yes.
All
So,
right.
Patrick, you go next, right?
It's my turn. Okay. Before I actually tell you what I want to do, let me ask you guys: did we want to take a 2 week hiatus?
We
Uh,
could. I
Well,
come
I'm
back on
fine.
Monday.
Would we want? Do you guys want to do it on Monday? Do you guys want to wait to?
We were
Because I'm
actually
fine
gonna
either
ask
way.
you.
yeah.
Okay, I have
Because we
because
can we can both do it on Wednesday. So if you can do it Wednesday.
the reason I ask is because I had two ideas in mind, but it all depended on when we wanted to record the next episode.
Are you available Wednesday the 9th?
Wednesday maybe. Okay. Uh I think we can solidify this by one simple question. How would you guys feel about a double whammy?
I'm good.
Yeah, we got spring. Well, I got spring break.
You got
I'm
spring
all right
break,
with it.
but I can make it work. It's fine.
All right, so that solidifies it. Okay. So yes, I've not done a double whammy yet. So this
Oh yeah, you're the only one that hasn't done one.
I'm the only one who hasn't. So that changes now. I'm not gonna make this a typical thing,
Yeah, I know.
That's
but
fine.
yeah, considering that we do have spring break, I feel like now's a good time.
Yep.
So with Joker and even with Punch Drunk Love, we've been looking at not the happiest movies, delving into the light. What?
We've been dealing with a lot of mentally disturbed main characters.
Yeah. So am I continuing that streak?
Actually, the last 4 movies we've done have dealt with mentally disturbed main characters and like sad endings. Because
Where?
Vampire's Kiss, Nick
Yeah,
Cage
I
is
know.
completely deranged in that. Romeo and
Where's
Juliet is that was the most deranged movie I've seen in my life. Punch Drunk Love, and Joker. Okay, go on.
okay? No, I'm just saying with Joker and Punch Drunk Love, we took a look at some characters who haven't really had the best lives.
Yes,
Am I continuing that streak?
I'm gonna say
I
no.
guess.
Well, in one way,
I'm gonna guess one of the
hell
movies
no.
is,
In
and
one
the
way,
other
hell
one
no.
yes.
The other way, kind of ish, maybe. Okay. Well, either way,
Should we
next.
guess?
No, don't guess, cause
I'll wait for the answer.
yeah. All
Matilda.
right.
Okay, go on.
For next week, I'm actually very excited about this one. We're going to be doing a double feature with Mary Poppins and Saving Mr. Banks.
Ah,
Oh,
I love Mary Poppins. Hell yeah, it's like one of my
Back-
favorite movies.
Back to the Dick Van Dyke trilogy.
Nice,
so we're just knocking those out of the way now.
I
Mhm.
guess.
All right, I'm out for it.
Yes, in my
Nice.
opinion, the best of the trilogy.
Well, you haven't seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I'll say Chitty Chitty Bang Bang's not as good as Mary Poppins, so
I saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang like on a. I saw something of it.
I
I'm not.
thought you always told me you never saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah, but like I saw a little bit of it like on TV once recently.
All right. Regardless, we're heading back to Dick Van Dyke.
All right. This has
Nice.
been Always Sunny in Hollywood. Thank you, everybody. And remember, that's life.